Good morning. Well, welcome to the Redondo Beach Center for Spiritual Living, where we are transforming lives, revealing love, where we are excited to have everybody here today, live and in person, in the rain, all of those out in Zoom. Happy Sunday. It is the best day ever. I'm Reverend Valerie Reeves, and it is going to be a great day. We have Reverend Mary Morgan back in the house. Yay! She is going to lead us in the Congregational Song. So let's all stand up and we'll sing the first song in your program.
All righty, are you ready to sing? Some of you are. We'll get you up. Woke up this morning with my mind stayed on Spirit. I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on Spirit. I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on Spirit. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. I'm walking and talking with my mind stayed on Spirit. I'm walking and talking with my mind stayed on Spirit. I'm walking and talking with my mind stayed on Spirit. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Now I'm dancing and singing with my mind stayed on Spirit. Yes, I'm dancing and singing with my mind stayed on Spirit. I'm dancing and singing with my mind stayed on Spirit. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Now there ain't no harm to keep your mind stayed on Spirit. No, there ain't no harm to keep your mind stayed on Spirit. There ain't no harm to keep your mind stayed on Spirit. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Well, I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on Spirit. Yes, I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on Spirit. I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on Spirit. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Excellent, thank you.
All right, let's go ahead and be seated, get ourselves grounded in this space. Now that our mind is on Spirit and we are excited for the best day ever, let's take all this wonderful energy and just breathe in the fullness of life. Just letting go, letting go, letting go. Closing our eyes to any distractions as we continue to let go of anything that does not serve us. Being fully present in this room, right here, right now. Knowing that there is one mind, one power, one infinite intelligence that flows in, as, and through each one of us. It keeps the rain flowing, keeps the oceans in alignment, keeps everything in the universe in the flow. Knowing that that beautiful flow flows through each one of our cells. As I speak my word and claim that this is the best day ever. That we are alive, alert, awake, and excited about life. That we just step into that knowingness. that something wonderful is unfolding. That we tune into that inner knower that just knows that it knows that it knows that it knows each and every step of the way. Knowing that the red carpet of life has rolled out for us. That wherever we go, the flowers are blooming, the birds are singing. Knowing that the message that we hear today, through the music, through the words, through the lesson, through the community, enriches and lifts us up to the next level. We just go ahead and go to that gratitude space. I am so grateful for this beautiful day, surrounded by loving people. Supported by Mother Earth, the universe. As I just say yes, yes, yes to life, to the unfoldment. As we just release this into the universal action of the law, knowing all is well. And so it is.
And so we say yes to the wonderful prayer of Reverend Valerie. And she said this is the best day ever. And so let's know that for ourselves. And we are grateful for the rain, even though we may not want to get wet. And we are glad that everything is unfolding as it should. Today, I am the speaker, Reverend Catherine McKinney. I'm the speaker for the lesson today. And there are a couple of other things happening. One is that the teens are having a bake sale. This is something they're tiptoeing back into as we come through the period we've been through. They're going to winter camp in person this January, and they are seeking your support for that. So check out their table and see what kind of cookies they have made for today. We have a number of things going on today. We did end the Angel Tree Project last week, but if there's anyone who has a last-minute donation, you can certainly do that. And we all express a tremendous amount of gratitude to Jan and Dave Mintz for all of the work that they did to make this Angel Tree happen. And we've had a very successful time, and there's really a lot of good that comes out of things when we just come together and do those things. So coming up this week, we have both of the book readings that we have been engaged in. On Tuesday morning, right there in the foyer at 10 a.m., Reverend Kathy is leading the book called The Untethered Soul. And it's a very engaged group. And even if you've not been before, you can just show up and be a part of that book. And then the next day on Zoom, we are continuing on Wednesday morning with the book, and I do this book, so I have to even remind myself sometimes. The book is about the metaphysical lessons of Jesus's parables. And Urban Seal calls it Learn to Live because it's about a lot more than that. It's a much basic book. And then also on Tuesday morning at 11, we have our yoga class right next door. Just bring a mat, and the class is $10, and you are ready to stretch yourself as you move into the holidays. This is the last yoga class until January, so keep that in mind. Also on Wednesday morning, we have our service at 11 o'clock. And Reverend Mary is going to be our speaker, so we can look forward to that as well. Now, what also happens this week is something that isn't every week. The Labyrinth is this Thursday. It is at 5 p.m., and it goes until 7 p.m. Now, the important thing to remember about the Labyrinth is to enter over on this Nob Hill side, because that's the door that's open, and that's how you can get in. And so it's a wonderful experience. It's 5 to 7, but at 6 p.m., right in the middle, Reverend Kathy is going to lead everyone in a guided meditation. It's a wonderful experience. It's time to be still and know, as we say, and use your body as well as your mind as you meditate through the labyrinth. Then, On Friday, the 16th, we have an amazing event. It's in your program, but we are having a wonderful concert that's put on by the wonderful band that is going to be here. It is a holiday band. They're going to be doing holiday music. And at the end of the service, we're going to have a special message about that. So stay tuned. It is at 6 to 8 p.m., but come at 5:30 and maybe have a cookie and meet and greet with the other people that are there. So as we look ahead, next Sunday, the 18th, Reverend Mary Morgan is going to be our speaker. And then we look even a little further ahead to our Christmas Eve service. We're inviting everyone to come home for Christmas Eve right here in the sanctuary. Of course, the Christmas Eve this year is on a Saturday evening. It is at 6:30. Come early, like around 6:10, and we will have some caroling. You really may enjoy joining in with singing in that group. And so then we will have that night, Dennis Bryan is going to be being our music for then as well as for today. And the talk that evening is the Christmas Wish. So please join us for that. We're looking forward to a wonderful, wonderful evening. We'll have some poinsettias. We will have the place festive, and we hope to have you here. And of course, we will close with our candlelight portion of this service. So thank you for considering that for your Christmas Eve. And so we've got more things coming up. Check your program. But for right now, we are going to know that Mr. Dennis Bryan is going to come up and serenade us again. We appreciate, come on up. We appreciate everything everyone is doing.
They said find the light. I missed the poinsettia Christmas tree, though, I had to say. I love that. But this is very nice, very nice. Welcome. Thanks for having me, you guys. It's great to be here. So this is a song I found that the Jackson 5 did, and I just think it's a great, great message. People making lists, buying special gifts, taking time to be kind to one and all. It's that time of year when good friends are dear, and you wish you could give more than just presents from the store. Why don't you give love on Christmas Day? Even the man who has everything would be so happy if you would bring him love on Christmas Day. No greater gift is there but love. And people you don't know smile and say hello. Everywhere there's an air of Christmas joy. And it's that once a year when the world's sincere, and you'd like to find a way to show the things that words can't say. Why don't you give love on Christmas Day? Oh, the man on the street and the couple upstairs all need to know there's someone who cares. Give love on Christmas Day. No greater gift is there but love. What the world needs is love. Yes, the world needs your love. And you can find it in yourself. Let it out, let it go. Why don't you give love on Christmas Day? And every little child on Santa's knee has room for your love underneath that tree. Give love on Christmas Day. Oh, no greater gift is there but love. No greater gift, no greater gift, no greater gift is there but love. Is there but love? So give love on Christmas Day and every day. Give love on Christmas Day and every day. Won't you give love? Won't you give love? Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you, Dennis. That was very, very nice. Reverend Catherine's talk today is Together 2.0. Centers for Spiritual Living's global theme for the month of December is community. Now, when I looked up community, I saw that the definition is a unified body of individuals with common interests, an interacting population of various individuals. We as human beings have a longing to belong, and we have a longing for emotional connection. I personally have referred to this center as my spiritual community. Recently, while sharing dinner and conversation with someone that I haven't seen or spoken to quite a bit in the last couple years, and during dinner on our conversation, I asked him what he was doing to have his need met for spiritual community. And he shared with me that he could comfortably live as a hermit, living in solitude, removed from people and society. I found that interesting, but I recognize that that's quite different than what I want and need. I understand that being alone is not the same thing as being lonely. Loneliness is an emotional state of feeling disconnected and separate. Some people find peace in a spiritual connection in solitude. And some people can feel lonely in a room filled with people. But how about a little bit of both, solitude and community this time of year, especially during the holidays? In the Science and Mind textbook on page 440, Ernest Holmes, who is the founder of religious science, comments on the biblical quote, "None of us live for ourselves alone," which is Romans 14:7. Ernest Holmes says, "Because of the unity underlying all life, no man lives entirely unto himself, but through himself he lives unto the whole, which embodies all other lives." Personally, I'm grateful for the many ways that we have here at our center to come together, to interact, to engage, and connect with one another. I think that we're very fortunate to have a variety of choices to join in community with others, whether we choose to join one of the book studies or the spiritual discussion group or the women's or men's group, or a dance class, or a yoga class, or there's going to be a balance class starting up again in January. We have potlucks, and we have a group that serve for hospitality, and we've got this week coming up, we have this fabulous soundscape orchestra, this wonderful concert to join, to come together as community. And each year we can be part of our annual Angel Project that we serve the needs of so many people at this time of year. I know that in community with you, that is when I thrive, when I can contribute to the growth of something greater than just my individual self. Please affirm with me. Love encircles and connects me to all those around and about me. Very good. All right, here's one. Today I live, love, laugh, and be merry. Yay! Thank you.
I got the be merry part right. Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Be careful what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a state of peacefulness, and know that God is always there. And every thought becomes our prayer. Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Take charge of what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a state of peacefulness, and know that God is always there. And every thought becomes our prayer.
So together, 2.0, I got a text this morning that asked me, what does that mean? On March the 15th, 2020, we had it's a Sunday, and we had service here in this sanctuary. Dr. Moira stood on this platform, and she did her talk. Andy played music, we had singers, and all the other things that make Sunday a Sunday. The next Sunday, as we came together on the 22nd, it was entirely different. There were less than 10 of us in this building. Dr. Moore was alone on this stage, and there were a few others here, and we were together in an entirely different way. We were on the camera, on YouTube, and we were managing to move forward, to do Sunday in some way together. And over the time in the pandemic, we did a lot of things. We improved our tech. It makes it so much better for those who are watching it online. But we did a lot of other things too. We started some groups online, and we worked to try and find ways to be together, because that's an important part of our culture. That's what community is. Monica did a fantastic job of talking about that. A community is simply a group of people who have shared interests, shared values. We have a group that meets here. They rent our space, and they're a quilting group. And they're a large group, and they're on one Tuesday night a month. They are a community. When you walk among them, they're visiting, they're talking, they care about things. They do a lot of volunteer work. They do a lot of things, but that is their shared interest, and that is how they come together. We come together because we share spiritual values, as Monica was saying, and we explore within those spiritual values how to be. An important part of community is connection, and that is what I am exploring today. When the pandemic hit, in the middle of March, moving forward, I read a lot of nonfiction things, both about the science involved and what was going on, as well as the sociological and psychological things that were happening. I was very interested in how people, especially locally, were responding to being shut out of so many things. Well, interestingly, there was quite a lot of interest in, well, thank goodness I don't have to do all those things anymore. I read some woman who'd said, you know, I'm a working woman and I had to meet people for drinks sometime. It was just part of networking. And then there was that lunch I had to do and certain people for dinner. I just never had any time to myself. So I'm actually kind of liking it. And this went on in this vein for a number of months. By the time we got to Christmas and beyond, it was a little different. People were chafing at not being able to actually physically be with people. I know that even at this center, someone called us and said, do you mind if I just go out in the parking lot? I have a friend I'm going to meet. We're going to pull our cars up, and we're just going to visit for a while. And of course, we said, sure, do that. And they did. I could look out the window, and they're talking back and forth. They're visiting, and they're visiting in person because that kind of connection is what they were looking for. So as time goes on, you know, some things opened, like restaurants outside. We started figuring out ways that we could do things, and that is what we did to find that connection. But ultimately, we are coming back to this center, and we're still finding out how to do that. Quite frankly, what is it that we want to do? Because many people, just like that first person I mentioned that I read about in a news account, who was tired of all those meetings that she had to have that she didn't really want to do. There were a number of things like that. So now as we're coming back, we're being choosier about what we do. Not just here, but everywhere. And to me, that's what Together 2.0 is. How are we together now? How do we want to be together in 2.0? The idea of community is really, really important. As I mentioned before, it's about connections. It's about connections that we make. And at this center, that is what I believe that we offer, is ways to be connected. I mean, we've talked about some things this week that we are doing to connect. And we're doing those things that our members and friends respond to. The things they want to do, that is what we want to do. And so we're still exploring all the ways that we do that. And that connection is a vital part of who we are. It is actually true that as a human species, we are hardwired for community of a kind, of that connection. The anthropologists that study how people started out, going way back to the hunter-gatherer days, people banded together. They banded together because it was better for them, it was safer, because there was a larger group, you could look out for one another. They banded together to pool their resources. Someone might be better at this than someone else, and they put it all together. And they knew that they were better together. And there were people who were lone workers. They just were on their own. But with the group, there was this sense that they were safer. And so and that's what most people did. And so in that hard wiring that we have, there is a certain amount of fear in some for being alone. And the loneliness of which Monica spoke, and the feeling of loneliness versus being alone, is what I'm talking about. So as we move forward in our civilization and our idea of community, we have ways of putting things together, and we've gotten faster paced. Just as I was alluding to the person who was so happy to just stop for a while. But that faster pace has sometimes left people behind for reasons that we can't always explain. Going back to 2013, so it's not just pandemic, although I think the pandemic may have highlighted some of that. 2013, there was a survey of doctors asking a number of questions about the patients they see, people they see, what are they coming with. 3/4 of the doctors, 75% of the doctors reported that about 1 in 5 of their patients was lonely. Not that they were alone, but they were lonely. And there is this idea that has moved forward, and especially as this notion of loneliness got explored more, that is actually an epidemic in this country now. I was reading about and listening to the man who was the Surgeon General of the United States at one point. And he first began his time in 2014 going around on what he calls a listening tour, listening to what people had to say. He talked to teachers. He talked to schools themselves, the principals and people who work in, and he talked to physicians. And what he came away with is that we have tackled this epidemic of obesity and trying to encourage people to eat better, exercise, do all the things, and it's for your overall health. We have tackled things like smoking, and we're healthier because fewer people actually smoke, and it's made a difference when that campaign has gone on. And then we also have addiction. And so all of these things have gone into the mix of health problems as far as the country is concerned. But what Dr. Murthy came to believe is that loneliness really underlies the other addictions. It's a reaction to loneliness and trying to find a way. He was probably influenced by many things in his life, but one really sticks out to me. When he was a new physician, I don't know where he was working, but he was just seeing patients, and someone comes in and they present themselves with high blood pressure, they're obese, and they also are diabetic. And so as he talks to the person, he's getting sort of a case history and things about him, and he'd been like this for a number of years. But 10 years before that, he was a happy worker with a normal weight and none of the other things he was talking about. He had loved his job, and he worked as a baker, as a matter of fact. He loved his work, he loved what he did, he loved the people he worked with. He lived in a lovely neighborhood with a picket fence. He liked his neighbors, they all cooperated with each other, and then something happened. He won the lottery. And so since he won the lottery, a big lottery, he quit his job. He sold his house and he bought this giant house with big walls around it, had everything he wanted, and then he realized he wasn't happy. He was lonely. And he presents to the doctor at this point with all of these symptoms, and he's angry on top of that. He's angry at the people he used to work with who never get in touch with him anymore. He's angry with his neighbors who built these tall walls and never come outside and never want to engage. He's just angry with life. And so the doctor who's treating him could see the pattern, and yet the patient is not able to see all of those connections. And that is the beginning in his idea of how loneliness has contributed to so many ills that he sees as Surgeon General as problems in this country. And so that led him to think about ways to combat this loneliness and how to do that, to tell someone that how you can deal with that in your own life. And as it turns out, it's really not easy because people who are lonely, who get into whatever state you get into, either don't realize that's how they are, or for whatever reason, they're feeling protective and refuse to get help. Somebody may offer, and maybe it's an open-ended and too open-ended offer. Is there anything I can do for you? Oh, no, I'm fine. When they're not fine. But perhaps there's lacking this ability to be able to articulate what it is that I need when I feel lonely. Now, there is a big difference, as Monica even talked about, with being alone and being lonely. And actually, finding your place in the world, being alone some of the times is a vital part of it. I personally cherish my alone time so that I get to corral my own thoughts and think about what I'm doing. I write my prayers. I do all of this in my alone time. But that's not the same as being lonely. Lonely is a feeling of disconnect, as Monica said. You are feeling isolated. And going back to the almost prehistoric times, there are hidden ideas that I'm not as safe, I don't have what I need, even if I'm not completely aware of it. So I think one of the biggest lessons that I've learned from this is to try and anticipate situations where I see this is possibly the case, and not ask, is there anything I can do to help, but is there something, and maybe I can think of something specific. I keep thinking when I talk about asking for help, my daughter is teaching my granddaughter to, when she struggles with something and she gets frustrated, she asks her, do you want help? So my granddaughter has learned HIP. And so when she's wanting something, a lot of times she goes, HIP. And so I keep thinking about that. I keep thinking how wonderful that is to learn when you need something to ask for it, as opposed to waiting for someone else to think of what you need or to occur to that. So is that something maybe we could all do? Is that within all of us, this desire, oh no, I don't want to bother them. They may not want to, and I don't want to impose. And all of those shaming things that we put on ourselves, rather than just say, will you help me? Help me do this. Help me finish this. Help me get this done. All of those things. And so that help me is part of in my own thinking. And it's delightful because she's young enough, doesn't feel the hard wiring of anything except help me. Now, obviously, toddlers want to do everything themselves, but that doesn't mean that they can't be taught. And isn't it a great, great idea to be able to do that? And so, in thinking about how this community is, see, this community has come together in so many ways to help other people. We've done it earlier this year for rainbow services. We did it just now for Angel Tree. 40 families, 200 people. And their lives are better because we help them. And that's something everyone should feel good about. It is an important thing to have done. And I know that each of you have people in your own circle that you are helping in your own way. I know that. And so I want to celebrate your own helpfulness and your own way of being in this world, for doing those things, and for even being open to the idea that maybe there's something I can do. So I take a breath and know that this is what community is really about. It's the shared experience, always the shared experience. And in that sharing, when we come to an understanding of the people that we work with, we listen to what people have to say, not just wait for them to stop talking so that we can say what we have to say, but we listen. We come to a deeper understanding, and we may hear what we need to hear so that we can be that help that someone needs, just with words. None of this takes a lot of time. It mostly takes quality moments in order to do this. Does this sound like something that you'd like to do? I am grateful to hear that. And so what I know is that there is this power in the universe that I am using all the time. And I am choosing right now to know that I use it to make myself a better person in the world and to make the world a better place because I am in the world. And being open to all the connections that my spirit, my unique individual spirit, wants to make with loving, kind individuals. I know this in such gratitude, and I allow it to be so as we come together and say, and so it is. And so it is. As we come together to talk about the offering, I see the ushers aren't quite back there yet, so I'm going to go ahead with our mission statement. One of the things that I love about the mission statement is that it was crafted in a way to think about community. That's really what it was about. And it is amazing to me. We honor your presence, we nurture your spirit, and we enrich the life of all we serve. And this is a letter that I got very recently. It is truly amazing how life-traveled the spirit world is when the words of your treatment go before me and prepare the way. I am very grateful. Thank you. I love you for what you do so well. I still want your words of prayer in my life. Thank you, and Merry Christmas. And so now we will join the prayer as we bless the gifts that we are giving to this wonderful center as we say, divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, to bless, and to prosper all those who give and all those who receive. I rejoice in the sharing of my good, and I release my gift with love. And so it is. And so I'm going to invite Mr. Dennis up.
This is a song that Faith Rivera wrote. Many of you probably know who that is. And I thought it would be really good for the talk about togetherness. And it's a collaborative effort. So I have my friend Leslie here. I've got Andy playing, and I've got you, right?
Check, test.
So I say, I got love. I say, got love. You say, got love. I say, got peace. You say, I say, got joy. You say,
Got joy.
oh, good. I'm glad. You ready for this one? It's very fun. Here we go. And you can get up, you can dance, you can snap your fingers, clap your hands, whatever you like. It's a community that we all share. Here we go. I got love, got peace, got joy, flowing like a river. Got love, got peace, got joy, flowing like a river. One heart, one mind, one love, flowing like a river. Got hope, got strength, got faith to move every mountain. Got hope, got strength, got faith to move every mountain. One heart, one mind, one love to move every mountain. One love to move every mountain. One love. let's repeat that verse, okay? Here we go. I got you.
Got you.
Got me.
Got me.
Got us.
Got us.
Coming together. Got you.
Got you.
Got me.
Got me.
Got us.
Got us.
Coming together. One heart.
One heart.
One mind.
One mind.
One love. Coming together. One love. Coming together. One love. Coming together. One heart.
One heart.
One mind. Repeat that. One heart.
One heart.
One mind.
One mind.
One heart.
One heart.
One mind.
One mind.
One love. One love. All right. Great job, you guys. Thank you again for having me.
And thank you, Andy, for making it all come together for us. And as I said, Dennis is going to be with us for the Christmas Eve service again, and we will have a rocking good, peaceful time. Thank you. And so now, before we move into the blessing, I promised you a special treat, and so I'm inviting Miss Laurie Richelieu, which is how many people know her, to come up and talk about the Soundscape Orchestra and its concert on Friday.
Good morning. Can you all hear me? Woo! Wasn't that fantastic? I love the singers. Thank you so much for a wonderful service. How are you all doing this morning? Wait, I'm sorry, I can't hear anyone. How are you doing? Woo! Are we doing good? We're all alive, so we should be doing great, right? And we're here to celebrate another fabulous season. And I thought, what better way than with music? So I know there's always things to do, shopping, Christmas cards, decorating the house. Or maybe none of you do any of that because, you know, we're just not there yet. But that's okay. So one of the things I'm wanting to suggest and invite all of you to is to hear Soundscape. And it is fantastic. I have got the start. Go ahead, stand up for just a minute. This is Stephen Anderson. He is the one who's the head of a 10-piece orchestra, all professional LA musicians, and it's absolutely, how's the foundation on this church? Because Richelieu Hall is going to be cracked. I mean, we have round tables, so those of you who would like to sit and listen to the holiday music, that's fantastic. Those of you who'd like to dance, there'll be dance floors, there'll be refreshments, and it's going to be a fantastic time, a free event. Can I borrow Dennis for a minute?
Sure.
Dennis, come on up, because you know what? I'm tone deaf. I'm listening to you beautiful voices. Come on up, too. Come on up, because I can't sing. And I just want us all to just join. So here's the flyers. I invite you all. This is impromptu. She's gonna be mad at me, Reverend. I'm sorry. I mean, we're just going to all sing Jingle Bells to get ourselves in the spirit. Are you ready?
Are you ready?
Okay? Are we ready? Okay, let's do it, because do you know Jingle Bells? Because I don't know it. Okay, ready? A 1 and a 2. Can we all sing? Okay, come on, stand up if you can. I want to feel the music and
Dashing
all of you.
through
We're
the
going to
snow
have
in a
Fridays
one-horse
just
open sleigh. O'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. Bells on bobtail ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to ride and sing a sleighing song tonight. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
All righty. Okay.
New song, wasn't it? So as we come together at this particular December the 11th, I just wanted to make an observation. Many of us know that we have had fewer lights in the sanctuary over the last few months than we would think of as ideal. We are in an aggressive process of evaluating exactly what we're going to do. But you know, in this teaching, we say sometimes, treat with your feet. And so we are in a period of time that celebrates light. The Festival of Lights is happening. We have Advent, which is about light. And that's what I am having today. This is the third Sunday in Advent. And so I am lighting that candle. And next Sunday begins Hanukkah, and I'll have a Hanukkah light. We are going to treat with our feet and know that this light is moving through, because what Ernest Holmes tells us is that it's not just the words we think and do, it is the pattern of things. So I want a pattern, and I want support from everyone, knowing that there is plenty of light, that there is plenty of light. And in this Festival of Lights, we're moving forward in the light of God. And so let's come together as we share our blessing for the world. I know divine love enfolds me, divine light leads me, divine life lives in me, divine wisdom inspires me, divine compassion expresses through me, and divine power protects me. All that I am is Spirit's life and expression. It is good and very good. With deep joy and generosity filling me, I go forward now in sacred service, supporting a compassionate world that works for all. I move through my days with grace and ease, in peace and love, in health and wellness, in fullness and plenty, and in loving relationship with all. What I now know for myself, with blessing and in deep gratitude, I know for all life. There is only God, there is only God, there is only God. Let's rise for the peace song, and I invite our parties up for the peace song. And we also are inviting up practitioners who are available today for a practitioner treatment. We're inviting you to come here and stand here in the center, because if anyone is in need of prayer treatment today for any reason, we are inviting you to be a part of that. So let's get on with our peace song.